Let's get this thing on a cold start here. Yeah.
It's the afternoon now, so good afternoon world, good afternoon YouTube. If you are just joining, welcome to the new and improved Team Scat Cat channel. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back, welcome to the video. Let's get this started. Alright everybody, so what are we talking about today? Obviously, like I said before in my Instagram story, I took a week off to, you know, get used to the new changes, which if you don't know what I am referencing right now, you should go back and check out my reveal of, obviously you can see on these all natural Laguna leather seats what I'm driving now, rather than the suede inserts that would say RT on it. But obviously if you want to see the full reveal, please go back to the previous video on my channel where I revealed my new car, which I'm in right now, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So this isn't going to be a very in-depth video. We'll save all that stuff for later. You know, we got to keep that content rolling, guys. Got to keep that content. So I'm not going to give away all the secrets now, but you know, this is just going to be a quick little update on, you know, basically what the title of the thumbnail says. You know, what has changed. For those of you who don't know, I went from pretty much the polar opposites in the Mopar world. I went from a Challenger Scat Pack, stock 485 horsepower, to a Charger Hellcat, so that's 2 doors to 4 doors, around 500 horsepower to about 707 horsepower. You know, which is, it's still kind of a culture shock to me right now. So let's see, what has changed? Well, we can start with the obvious, like I just mentioned. What has changed is I got 4 doors now, so there's that. It already feels a little bit different, not as different as I thought it was gonna feel, to be totally honest with you guys. Like when I first test drove a Hellcat, it was a Charger. It wasn't this one, but it was at the same dealer. When I first test drove a Charger, it was a Hellcat variation. And at first, you know, just looking at it from the outside, I was like, damn, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to deal with this 4-door lifestyle, because, you know, I'm so used to my Challenger, I'm so used to the coupe life, to where like, am I gonna be able to adjust? So, as it turns out, the Charger, like, actually is a very, I don't want to say compact, but it's a very welcoming car. So, you know, I feel like, at first, like, looking at it from afar, I feel like that's too much room. In it now, I feel like I've got, like, ample amount of space. I don't have too much, I don't have too little, I have just enough amount of room. I've only taken maybe 1 passenger in the actual back seat, so I feel like the back seats are gonna be the same way that they were in the Challenger almost, and maybe not utilized, but they'll probably, you know, since the car is still new, they'll probably be utilized a little bit more here in the coming weeks and months. But you know, we'll see what happens there. What else has changed? Obviously, another big one is the jump from 485 horsepower to the crank to 707 horsepower at the crank, and about 650, maybe 670, I don't remember. I know I'm doing you guys a disservice right now. I usually have the numbers already in my head because I love Mopar so much, but 650, 670, somewhere there to the rear wheels. So what is that? What is the change? Well, the change in that is, it's very odd to say, but in my Challenger Scat Pack, I felt, I don't know, like I felt the need to drive a little bit faster in my Challenger. Maybe because it was a 6-speed, I don't really know. Maybe it was just because it was that loud B5 blue. It had the full Borla Attack titanium exhaust on it. It had some header game. I don't know, maybe because of the thicker tires. I don't really know what it was. I just feel like, you know, overall, I feel like it was maybe the mentality of that Challenger. That, I don't know, I hate to blame the Challenger, but, you know, maybe it was just that mentality of the Challenger that made me want to drive it a little bit faster. I don't know, I can't really say. In this car, in a Charger Hellcat, what has changed is I feel like I can daily this thing, I don't know. I hate speaking ill of my Challenger Scat Pack because that was, I've stated in other videos that was my dream car. Challenger just overall was my dream car. It didn't have to be a Hellcat, didn't have to be a Demon. It wasn't going to be a V6. No offense to all the V6 owners out there. Like, I love all of my guys in our club who have V6s. Like, they make great cars. Actually, one of the best ones out there is Charger. I'm going to put his Instagram name in the description right now. You go check out his Charger, and he's going through some changes right now. Honestly, one of the dopest 6-cylinder Challengers I've ever seen, and that's not because he's in the group, but honestly, he's one of the dopest 6-cylinder Challengers, or Chargers, one of the dopest 6-cylinder Chargers I've ever had the pleasure of meeting, honestly. So go check out Charger. But like I said before, it wasn't going to be a six-cylinder. I didn't want that for myself. Like, I knew, like, if I was going to get what my dream car was, I was going to go all out with it, and I was going to get a big V8. At that point, the Scat Packs were not released. When I started to look into them, it was only the RTs and the SRTs. So right around the time I was ready to pull the trigger, Dodge had just come out with the Scat Pack variations, and at that point I was like, I knew it, that has to be for me. So I went and I swiped up a Scat Pack as soon as I could get back into the States and get one. So anyway, moving on from that little tangent there, what has changed is, like I was alluding to before, like, I feel like I can daily this car a lot easier, as in, like, behavioral wise. Like, that was my key, don't worry about that. I feel like I can daily this car a lot easier than I could my Challenger. Like, I don't feel the need to beat the shit out of the car, even though it is a Hellcat. I don't feel the need to beat the shit out of it. I feel like this car honestly drives a lot more docile than my Challenger Scat Pack did. I feel like this car is a lot more docile than my Challenger Scat Pack until you open this car up. Then this thing becomes a whole different beast. But I'll talk about that in another video. Can y'all hear that supercharger? Oh my God, that is one of the most intoxicating noises ever. And on that topic, that's what else has changed, is I get to hear this. God. Sweet Christmas, y'all heard it? That's one of the biggest things that's changed, is, like I said before, in one of my other previous points, I don't feel the need to beat the shit out of this car. I don't feel the need to harness all, like, you know, like Thanos with the gauntlet. I don't need to harness all 707 horsepower and just get all those stones, just snap everybody's world. I don't feel the need to do that. Spoilers if you haven't seen that yet. I just know that even at 30 miles an hour, and this is an eco mode also, I just know that at 30 miles an hour, at maybe a quarter throttle, you can still hear just a tiny, tiny bit of that supercharger whine. And for me, that's all I need. That's all I need to know what I got. That's honestly it. I don't need anything else to be able to harness that power. It's just to know that I can hear that noise and I know that it's there. That's one of the biggest things that's changed for me. I don't know. Maybe that's like, I want to say, like, maybe that's like a comfort zone or something, like being able to hear the supercharger, be like, all right, cool, I know what I got under the hood. Nobody else needs to, I don't need to prove it to anybody else to see what I got under the hood, to show what I got under the hood. I know what I got under the hood, and when I want to or need to use it, I'll dial it in. No need to worry about that. I'll dial it in when I need to. So another thing that's changed that I've also mentioned before is, I told you guys, and you guys have seen, that I had a 6-speed manual in my Challenger Scat Pack, whereas I have the Torque Flight 8-speed automatic in my Hellcat. So again, another obvious, but you know, for those who switch over, another big change in the lifestyle. I still find myself every now and then, like, it just feels weird letting the engine, or you know, it just feels weird engine braking and not reaching down to, you know, switch a gear or drop a gear, honestly, in that point. It's just, it's a weird thing for me. Like I said, I still find myself reaching down and trying to shift gears. But yeah, I still find myself reaching down and trying to drop a gear when I feel the engine braking. It's just a weird thing. I don't immediately want to go for just the brake pedal. What I want to do is I want to hit the clutch. I want to drop down a gear. I want to hear that Borla fucking scream, crackle, and pop, eventually die down, and then drop under the gear, and so on and so forth, before I really start like actually braking the car itself, braking the car manually with the actual brake pedal. But I will say, I've heard all of the critiques about this, and I will say that this TorqueFlite 8-speed it's one hell of an animal, let me tell you that. There's no pun intended, it's a Hellcat. It is one hell of an animal. There are one or two quirks, which I'll get to in another video. There are one or two quirks about this transmission that I'll get to, but like, honestly, other than that, I am in love with this transmission, especially for the fact that it is harnessing and being able to control all 700 horsepower like that. A lot of people have asked me already, you know, why didn't you just, you know, get a Challenger Hellcat, and you know, why didn't you just, you know, just go up in engine, or I guess down because it's 6.2. Why didn't you just go up in engine horsepower and rear wheel horsepower and just keep everything else you had? That being a Challenger, 2 doors, and a 6-speed. And the only thing I'll say about that is that it, like, again, it might just be a personal thing, but I, for one, do not want a 6-speed manual and all of my driver mod controlling, and that's, you know, before I put mods on anything that already has 700 horsepower from the factory. I do not want my personal driver mod and a 6-speed, the only thing standing between me and controlling 700 horsepower. It's just, I am uncomfortable with it. I don't want to hurt anything on the engine, and that's just my personal preference. I don't want to hurt anything on it. So what else has changed? What's another thing that's changed? Obviously, I have 2 more doors now. I got a little bit more space. I will say that where, again, not to badmouth any Challengers, I will say that where I thought the Challenger was going to have great room, and it did have great room, it honestly did. It was more of an OCD plug for me, to where I didn't, you know, enjoy having people get in and out of my car. I didn't enjoy people, you know, putting the seat up and down. I didn't enjoy people really, you know, scuffing up. That's because that's basically what happened. I didn't enjoy people scuffing up the like the backs of the seats and all the plastic around the back of the rear seats, stuff like that. I didn't enjoy any of that, and that was a real big like trigger item for me, was having people get in and out of the car, leave dirt in the back. It was hard to get to, you know, just like putting the seat down, stuff like that. Again, I didn't mind it because it was my car, it was my pride and joy, and I would always clean the hell out of the back of that car, no matter how bad I sweat, no matter how bad it hurt my back and all that stuff. Like, I still clean the hell out of that car because that was my pride and joy, and I wanted to keep it that way. But in the grand scheme of things, having the 2 extra doors is kind of nice, because, you know, I can just, same thing as a Challenger, I can throw like my bag or like my gym stuff or like a towel in the back of the car for when it rains in Florida, because I'm OCD like that too, so I need to put down a towel whenever I get done at the gym or whenever it rains on them, because I don't want to put anything on these seats. That's just me. Some of y'all probably do it. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed to take pride in your car and all that stuff. Tangent aside, I can throw all that stuff in the back of my car, and then if I need to quickly access it, all I gotta do is either, one, reach back because it's so spacious, or get out of the car, open up the back door, and grab whatever I need and close the door and get out. So that's another big thing that's changed. But obviously, you guys, I really could probably go on forever and tell you, like, you know, all the things that have changed. If you're one of the individuals who have done something like this, especially if you've jumped up from, you know, a naturally aspirated V8 to now the supercharged V8 variations that Dodge offers, I mean, you guys already know what has changed, basically. And even still, if you've gone from the Challenger to the Charger, you know what has changed. but this is for everybody who, you know, might be looking into doing said switch with the engine or with the actual body style, all that stuff. You know, if you guys are looking into doing that, you know, I just want this to be a little bit more informative for you guys. Like I said, I'll get into the real nitty-gritty of things in future videos and all that kind of stuff, but you know, like I said, I took a week off, so I wanted to get back with you guys. You know, you guys already saw, like, you know, pretty much the overview of the new Hellcat. So now, you know, I wanted to give you guys my personal opinion on what the changes were and are between the Scat Pack to the new Hellcat. Obviously, a lot of people, they ask me, like, you know, do you still miss the Scat Pack? And I mean, like, honestly, I miss the Scat Pack a lot. I really miss the Scat Pack a lot. Then a lot of people, to combat that, a lot of people be like, you know, how can you miss a Scat Pack when you got, you know, 700 horsepower Charger Hellcat? Well, I mean, like I already said before, I'm not gonna get on my soapbox about it. Like I said before, the Challenger was my dream car. That color, if it wasn't gonna be plum crazy purple, it was gonna be B5 blue, because it just had to have pretty much everything harken back to the old way that Challengers were, and you know what Challengers looked like, what they sounded like. I wanted to make everything like a real heritage throwback on that car, minus, you know, like the aftermarket, like, you know, Superbird wings that people put on them and stuff like that, or the CUDA lights and all that stuff. You know, I just wanted it to be, you know, my own creation, basically, to honor the forefathers of Mopar, if you will. So that's why I missed the hell out of my Challenger Scat Pack. But in the, hold on, I'm waiting for people to go across here. In the interest of the video, and in other things that have changed, obviously the 6-speed manual was kind of getting on my nerves a little bit. It's not to say that the Tremec 6060, that's not to say that it was a bad transmission. It was a wonderful transmission. I love that transmission. It's the same transmissions that they put in the Vipers. So that, for those of you who are not Mopar related, which most of y'all on this channel probably are, for those of you who are not Mopar related, like, you know the quality that's behind the transmission, if they trust it enough to take it from the Viper to put it in their manuals for the Challengers and whatnot. So it was a beautiful transmission. It was a great transmission. But living in Jacksonville, and the points in time that I would get out of work, you know, there's a stop and go traffic. Obviously, a lot of people will probably down me for saying I got rid of my 6-speed just because of traffic and stuff like that. But, you know, that was my preference. It was my money, sort of thing. So, you know, haters gonna hate. I mean, you know, haters gonna hate, man. But like I said, being that it was always a traffic issue, again, a personal thing for me is I didn't want to harm anything in the engine more than I won't say needed to, but more than I needed to, you know, just daily driving a 485 horsepower car. Like I said, just every now and then, it was a little bit inconvenient having a 6-speed. While it was fun to have a 6-speed daily driving back and forth, now that I think about it, I would much rather have, you know, if I ever end up having 2 Mopars, which I'd love to, but in a perfect world, if I'd ever end up having 2 Mopars, I mean, I'd probably have a 6-speed manual Challenger, and I'd probably use that for like the weekend fun car. Honestly, that probably would be what it would be for, because it's a shit ton of fun to drive. But when it comes to those points where you don't have open road, or you don't have a lot of space to maneuver, for some people, I'm not saying for all, but for me personally, it became kind of a drag. So that's all I'm gonna speak on that. But yes, I do miss the hell out of my Challenger Scat Pack, but I am also very excited for what is gonna happen for the channel now that we have this beautiful Hellcat on the channel. And I hope you guys are excited about it too. But anyway, YouTube, you know, I just wanted to give you guys, like I said before, a quick little update on, you know, a couple things here and there that have changed with me switching from a 2016 Challenger Scat Pack 6-speed manual to a 2018 Charger Hellcat automatic. So I hope those of you who come across this video who are looking at the changes and stuff like that. Like I said before, I'll get to more in my future videos, so hopefully those of you who have come to this channel to see this comparison, hopefully you guys watch further videos and subscribe so you can get notifications on further videos. You see how I'm doing it? Nah. but seriously, like, I hope you guys will tune back in to see, you know, my real in-depth reviews of what it is really like to switch from a Challenger Scat Pack 6-speed to a Charger Hellcat automatic. I hope you guys tune back in to see that. I hope you guys tune back in to see my other reviews and stuff. I already have another point and subject for my next video, which will probably be helpful for all of you. I think it's 2017, for all you 2017 and up new Hellcat owners, because I didn't know about this, and it was something that actually, like, no shit, had to go get fixed under warranty at the dealer immediately. I had this car for 2 weeks. Already putting in warranty work and stuff like that. But we'll get to that in a further video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like, browse, and subscribe. Go follow my crew. I'm gonna put them in the description below. Go follow my car club. I'm gonna put that in the description below. And I think other than that, this video is over. But before I go, I'm gonna play you guys out with a, what do you say? I'm gonna play you guys out with the song of my new people, the song of my new tribe. That song being the intoxicating whine of a Dodge Charger Hellcat supercharger. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, you too. It's a weird thing for me. Like I said, I still find myself reaching down and trying to shift gears. Excuse me. Ah.